Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to today's session on building high performance APIs. We are thrilled to have you here and excited for the session packed with practical insight and hands on learning. In today's tech driven world, APIs power everything from mobile app to enterprise system. But building APIs that are fast, secure, and scalable, that's the real game changer. And that's exactly what we'll explore today. So without getting further ado, I am Preeti, your host for the session, and now it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Chaitanya sir, a senior data scientist at a leading MNC in Hyderabad with 20 plus years of experience in IT and a passion for teaching. And IIT Roorkee alumnus, Chaitanya has trained around 4,800 plus students across 67 plus batches and is known for his innovation methods like question hours, weekly tests, and mock interviews. His expertise span Python, Django, machine learning, and data engineering. So, ready to dive deep, ask questions, and learn from the best. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Chaitanya. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Thanks, Sakshi. Thank you very much for your just welcome. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So we can start now. So just give me 1 minute. I can share my screen. Okay. So yeah. Thanks a lot, Shruti. Preeti. Sorry for that. So okay. I hope
Hi.
everyone can see my screen. So is my screen visible, Preeti?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Okay. So can someone please confirm in the chat? It will be good for me to start. If I see some confirmation, is my screen visible or not? Yes. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So in today's class or maybe today's session or seminar, we are going to discuss about okay how we are going to build the APIs using the Python and FastAPI. And rather than going directly into this particular topic, so we'll understand what is the background of that, why we are developing the APIs, why we are choosing only Python and fast APIs. There are multiple options for this, and where we are going to use these kind of things, building APIs. So we know the around peripheral information about all this enter this topic. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. So, okay, first let us just go to this topic. And before going to the topic, okay, I just introduce myself. My name is Chaitanya, and I'm a postgraduate from IIT Roorkee, having almost 20 plus years of experience in the IT industry. So, right now, I am working as a generative AI expert in a MNC in Hyderabad. So, that is very brief about me. I have very long industrial experience and worked on various domains and technologies. So, in fact, my um, experience started with my Java full stack. I worked within the Java full stack for a very few years. After then moved to Python because at the time Python was a very emerging technology. And then I decided to move from Java full stack to Python full stack. After then, again I see there is one more booming technology coming up like artificial intelligence. Again, I learned myself the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, etc. I switched my career from Python full stack to the artificial intelligence like machine learning, deep learning, and data science. Right now, in my current position is I'm a senior data scientist and I'm a generative AI expert. Almost my all my projects are on the generative AI. Okay, I'm a generative AI expert right now. Okay, I had very little bit experience in computer vision too, but my most expertise is on generative AI than compared to computer vision. Okay, so in my 20 years of career span, I have worked on many MNCs like Tata and HCL Technologies and Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, etc. It is a long list actually. Maybe a couple of few more companies are there because I couldn't able to enter everything here. And I worked on Different countries also had on-sites with the clients. I worked on the Europe region, I worked on the USA, Philippines also. So different projects in my companies. I went there with the clients. I meeting the client, was meeting the clients, and I discussing what is the requirements. Different technical aspects also we are going to discuss. Is it possible or not possible? What is a better way to achieve this requirement? I'm giving some suggestions to the client, so they will be where many interactions will be happening between me and the clients on different projects at different locations. So and finally, I now currently working on Hyderabad. Okay, so yeah, this is my brief about my experience and coming my skill set. I already mentioned my career started with the Java full stack. After then, I moved to Python full stack. So I worked for Python full stack for a couple of years, almost like 6 to 7 years. Then I moved my switched my career from Python full stack to the complete artificial intelligence. Yeah, it's very trending technology. For me, it's a very interesting technology or interesting subjects I can see there. It's a very creative job actually. But anyway, that is what my particular experience level. So these are my skill sets. Okay, fine. So apart from my IT industry, I also have some training experience because this is my passion. Training is my passion. I had started my training for the 2013. It's almost like 10 plus years of training experience I have. In this 10 years of span of training experience, I have trained multiple people or many batches, I can say, like 70. Right now, it's the 74th batch is going on for me at morning session. So 73 batches already trained so far on the Python full stack and data science. So these are the major two concepts I generally focus on because these are the very booming and as people sees many jobs actually, particularly in these areas. And so far, it's almost 500,000 plus students I trained so far. And in my student satisfaction, this is really very good. So because they and they understand the topics from me, they cleared their doubts on time on every class, and I encourage them to don't hesitate to ask their doubts on daily basis. So I encourage them to ask the doubts immediately as soon as they get the doubt in their brain. So they'll get clarify their doubts, and so that it's very smooth way I just run my batches. So that's why my student satisfaction level is very high, and we always conduct some weekly sessions on every course, Python full stack and uh, data science weekly test and mock interviews, etc. So that we are also giving our 100% assistance to the every student one by one on getting their jobs. The ultimate goal is, yes, of course, they have to get their winning job. They have to win their dream job. That is what the ultimate goal. We are supporting them on each and every step to get that just to running towards their job, dream job. Okay. Of course, these are I had achieved so many awards because I couldn't able to mention all my awards here because it's a big list actually. So I just mentioned only some very few, very four, because in this slide only I just only kept four awards. And I have my personal website too, where I can able to open my registrations of my every batch, whatever I'm starting for training on every basis, everyday basis. Okay. So this is my official website, mypython.trainer.com. Okay. Yeah, that's very brief about me. And this is my social media. I just wanted to mention. So everyone, I request everyone, please subscribe to my social media like YouTube channel and LinkedIn and Insta and etc. YouTube channel, LinkedIn are very running more for me when compared to Facebook and Insta. Okay. So yeah, I request everyone please subscribe to my channels and follow my make connections with me in the LinkedIn, etc., etc. Right. So that's all very brief about me. So I don't want to get you bored, okay, by giving more information about me. I know it's a very bore for you. Okay. So let us see. I already mentioned before we are concentrating on building the APIs with Python and FastAPI topic. I would like to give a very brief about why we need to build those APIs, where we are going, where those are useful to us. What is the history behind it? Why we are moving to this stage now? I'll start from the history actually. So basically, uh, building the APIs and with Python and Fast API, these are all the terminologies and terms and actions or tasks, everything we are going to do while we are building the web applications. Web applications are people sometimes call them websites. For example, you are going to start a new business today, something like online shopping or anything, whatever, like booking your tickets, book my show or redbus.in, anything that you are going to say some business. So every business nowadays, every business needs some minimum website is required. Minimum website means website where your clients, or business clients, or customers, or vendors, everyone can be able to refer what is the business about and what are you doing, what services you are providing. And if they want to use your services, they want to register your website, they want to use your services in the online itself. Like let us say they want to book the ticket for a movie, a new upcoming movie. Book My Show is there. So like it's nowadays almost all business are running in the online. Online means don't get to the Instagram and etc. Online means of course Instagram is useful to you to reach the more people. Once you reach the more people, yes, there is some platform must be there. They can able to utilize your services, or they can able to get your services, they can able to participate in your business and etc. etc. They can buy your products, etc. Web application is very, very important nowadays, actually. Without this, I don't think business are running. You go to any business, even a small startup business also, they are going to have their business, their website on their own. The website is very mandatory nowadays. This don't think about like 60 years back or 70 years back, 60 years and 70 years back, the situation was different. Now it's entire online switch, online lifestyle. Everyone is going to make some online invoices or maybe online products, build some online products and everything. And they want to purchase everything through online only, etc. Everything is happening Amazon.com, Flipkart.com, etc. etc. Okay. So website is very, very much important. So to develop those websites. So we have, so how to build the websites, etc. First, we'll understand how the website, well, let us say I have built some website or web application, I can say anything you can call. Let us say I build some web application or website, how this website is going to work. So I'm going to provide in a very, very layman language, simple language so that everyone can understand. Though who doesn't have any background, like computer science background or technology background or coding background, etc., nothing is needed. I'll explain you in a very, very simplest way. Let us say this is my computer. I have opened a browser. In my browser, I can say www dot, let us say redbus.in. So my writing is not such a great writing, guys. So please excuse me if my writing is for my bad writing. Okay. But this is my redbus.in. Okay. So when I hit this redbus.in, that is one of the URL, or I can say the link or website name, I can say. The link I am hitting here, www.redbus.in. What the browser will do immediately is, this is a browser's responsibility. Browser will going to create one request object. So request object. So what is the request? This request object contains, hey, browser, the human or user hits this URL in my browser. They need some information. They need some information. That some what is the need? Everything browser is going to keep in this request object, and browser sends that request object to the Redbus. This is my, let us say, Redbus server. This is my Redbus server. So browser immediately sends that request object to Redbus server. So now once server receives that request object, so server understand what is the question or what is the ask, what this browser is requesting something from me. The server understands that. Once server understands that, what server will do? Oh, okay, means this browser now I am expecting me to send some information from my database. So the server itself immediately connects to the database, some database like with MySQL database or Oracle database, whatever it is. It is connected to database. It will get the requested data, whatever is the data requested in the request object. Server collects or fetches that data from the respective tables or anywhere, and keep that entire data, whatever is fetched from the database, into one response object. So server creates one response object. Inside the response object, server is going to keep all the information, whatever server fetched from the database, and sends that response object to the client. Client means browser here, simple. So this is the way the browser, I can say the client is nothing but a browser. I can also call something as a client. I can also call it as something a browser. Browser is nothing but a client, which is expecting some information from the server. Okay. Basically any thing which is basically expecting some information from server, that is what we call as a client. In this case, our example of the client is browser. Okay. So browser is sending some request to the server. Server is collecting the data for the as per the request asked, and server is sending that information, collected information, to the browser in a response object. This is how it is going to happen. So now the question is, so data means what kind of data? That means the server can able to send any information from the table and keeps that information the HTML file, sends the HTML file as a response. So the response can be a HTML file, it can be a JSON, JavaScript file, it can be a CSS file, but it can be anything. The response it can be PDF file, it can be image, it can be video. Response can be anything, guys. What client is expecting? Client is expecting anything, like it is expecting, it can be a PDF file, it is expecting might be a video or image or HTML file or simple normal text. Whatever the client asks, server is sending that. As simple as that. Clear? So now to communicate, basically what I can say here, the client and the server, they are communicating each other. Communication means, for example, now I am communicating with you, all of you. So I am explaining something, you are understanding. If I talk same explanation, give the same explanation in a Korean language or French language or Italian language or some other language, can you able to understand? You guys can't able to understand if I speak in Korean language or French language, right? Because if two people are communicating, people one, person two communicating each other, both should communicate in the same known language. Some language which will be known by both of them, they can only communicate. If they are not having the same common language, then definitely there should be some mediator should be there who can able to translate this language to this language and this language to this language, right? Of course, here there is no such translation process. The client is one kind of mechanism communicating with the server. Server is also communicating with client using a one protocol. The language, here we can say protocol, that is HTTP or HTTPS. So this is a language. Language, we don't think it's a programming language. It's not a programming language. It's a kind of a communication language which is client and server is using to communicate each other. And that language in what we call in a computer language, this networking side is protocol. HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. This is one protocol which is used by both client and server to communicate each other. Or HTTPS is one more protocol that what the server and clients are going to use each to communicate each other. So if you want to make this communication in a secured way, yes, go for HTTPS. S means secure. HTTP means what is the communication the client and server is making, everyone can see that. It's an open communication, it's a secret communication, that's it. So there is definitely a communication language. I can say language means don't think it's a programming language or something. No, it is just a communication language, like a kind of a like English or some language. But here we are talking about the computers. So they are saying that client and server are communicating each other with using some protocol, protocol. There are two type of protocols we have seen, HTTP and HTTPS. Any protocol we can able to use so that the client and server can able to communicate each other. So in this whole picture, this is my whole picture where some programming language called Python or something is coming. There is no Python coming here. Yes, there is a Python is coming at this place. So means what I mentioned, when server receives the request from the client, server needs to communicate or connect to a database and fetch the data from a particular table, and the collected data will be inserted into creating a new response object. Inside the response object, server is going to keep all the collected data from the database and sends the response object to the client. So the server itself can't do all these things. Server is just a machine, some hardware machine which is containing some 32 GB RAM and something RAM and ROM and some operating system. That's it. A machine cannot do all these things by its own, right? So machine needs some programming language help to do all these actions. Actions means server first receives the request. Server needs to understand what is the ask or what is the requested in that request. That is step one. Server going to connect to database and fetch the data from the database. Step two. Server is going to create a new response object. Step three. And step four. Server is going to place or store all the collected information from the database in the newly creating response object. Step four. And server sends that response object to the client. Step five. So these are all the steps will be performed by server, but it's not cannot be done by its own alone. It needs the server needs some programming language help. So here we are taking the help of the Python programming language. So if you have a question like why we are taking only Python, no, it's not mandatory that we should take only Python programming language help. Here you can take the help of Java or .NET or Node.js. There are so many programming languages where this can be achieved to server. Server can take any one of these programming language help to perform all these 5 steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not mandatory that every time server should take the help from only the Python programming language. It's not mandatory. This is a very normal, simple web application, which is a HTML based applications. But nowadays, applications are a bit advanced. Means I know everyone knows the Angular JS, React JS, etc. Nowadays, almost all applications are building on the top of the React JS, which is very advanced UI framework. So because user can able to get a lot of fantastic user interface using the React JS. Almost all such a user interfaces, components, buttons, fields, a very, very fantastic and beautiful and awesome components are readily available there. So that's why React JS is very, very popular nowadays when compared to the old thing called Angular JS. Angular JS was popular almost like 5 years and 6 years or 7 years back. Now React JS is captured the entire market. Entire market. React JS is just captured the entire market. Almost like 90% of the market captured because because a lot of excellent UI, awesome, fantastic UI components are readily available. You don't need to develop it. Just call them. That's it. Use them as it is. It is like a kind of a ready-made food available to you. Just keep it in your plate and have it. If you want to eat some biryani, just biryani is readily available. Just keep it some biryani in your plate and have it. No need to cook. The biryani is very delicious. You can have it. You can just keep it in your plate and have it. Such a ready-made components are readily available in React JS. Hence, nowadays everyone is using the React JS in their web applications or websites. So is that clear so far? Anyone have any questions on this so far? Okay, fine. So yeah, so now a little bit difference when compared to the web application architecture when compared to the React JS web-based applications or normal web applications. A little bit architecture is get changed. So now this is my browser or client. So which is going to send a request. Here client or browser is sending the request to React JS server only. This is one of the server React JS server. So there is no other server which is can able to connect to database. This is my server which can able to connect to database. But React JS server cannot connect to database. It is just a server which is available only for receiving the request and sending the response to the client. For client knows only the React JS server and client sends the request to only the React JS server. Once the React JS server receives the request from the client or browser, what client will do, what this React JS server will do, Since React.js cannot able to interact with the database directly, whatever is as per the ask, whatever the requested in that request, what React.js server will do, it is going to create one more request to this server, actual server. I can say here the Redbus server, let us say. So this is the Redbus server which is capable of connecting to the Redbus database and fetching the all the bus informations and passengers informations, etc., etc. So React.js server cannot able to connect to the client or database directly. It is going to create one more request and sends that request to the Redbus server. And now what Redbus server will do? Redbus server again receives the request from the React.js server, and as per the request, the Redbus server is going to connect to the database, that is a MySQL or Oracle or whatever it is, and fetches some requested information from the respective tables from the database and creates one response and places that entire collected data from the database in a response and sends that response to React.js again. So client sending the request to React, React is sending a request to Redbus server. Redbus server is sending a response to React, and again React is sending the response to client. It's a two-step communication. Then what is the advantage here is, because we are first involving the React.js only for only one purpose, because it's a very awesome and fantastic UI user interface. All components are readily available. It's a very beautiful and user-friendly user interface available in the React.js. All components are readily available. You just need to use them. That's it. No need to develop any code for them. Since we are using the React.js in between, so this is the application architecture. So here, where the fast API is, or building the APIs are coming is, fast building the APIs. So whenever the Redbus JS, so where the Redbus server is sending the response to React, remember one blind rule. The blind rule is whenever React.js server is receiving some response, React.js server understands only two kind of things. One is XML or JSON. You send any information, I don't care about it. The information should be in the XML format or in the JSON format. If you are sending some different information, yes, guys, I don't understand. That's what the React.js server will say. What React.js server will say? Whenever you are sending me something, please send me in the XML format or JSON format, because I can understand only the XML format or JSON files content only. I cannot understand any like text content. I cannot understand any like HTML content, etc. Only XML content I can able to understand. JSON content and I can able to understand is what the React server is going to say. So means whenever you are sending some information, the your means the Redbus server is sending some information to React.js server. That is responsibility of the Redbus server. What are the information Redbus server is fetched from the database? That database Redbus server pair one JSON content or XML content, anything you use. We generally use the JSON content. JSON content is very, very faster and easy to use it. Okay. And easy to understand also when compared to XML. So we generally use the JSON. So that is Redbus server's responsibility to prepare one JSON content with the content whatever the Redbus server fetched from the database and sends that JSON content to the React server. So that React server can easily understand, oh, okay, I'm getting something JSON, which is I likes it a lot. JSON. I know the JSON very well. I likes it a lot, easy to understand. And that JSON content, what React server will do, React server is going to like how we have the HTML pages, we have the React pages also. There is a React pages which we need to develop. This is only for React page, means just for display purpose. React server will take this content, whatever is received in the JSON format, and places that JSON content in the React page and sends that React page to the client. Client can easily understand what is this content present in the React page. It's like a two-step architecture. So anyone have any questions? Okay, fine. So yeah, so this is the two kind of applications we have. Like one is without React, or maybe with React, I can say. With React is a kind of this is the architecture for the React applications. Okay, so now we know how the websites are communicating with the clients. We know. So now, what kind of websites we have, web applications we have? There are two kind of web applications we have. One categorized as a static, and there is categorized as a dynamic. What is this static and what is this dynamic means? Static means, for example, you are sending one request. My request is the same. Okay, my request object, sending one request object. As long as my request is the same, my response also, my server is also sending. This is my server. Server is also sending the response. So as long as my request is the same, my response also should be the same. So if you change the request, response will be changed. If you keep the same request, response also will be the same from the server always. You hit this request n number of times. If you are asking this request from the server 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, how many times you ask, server is going to send the same to same, exactly the same response. There is no change at all. No change at all. This is what we call is a static websites. Means in static websites, yes, we will be having a fixed responses for the fixed request. As long as the requests are fixed, the corresponding response also fixed. There is no change. But in case of dynamic web applications, what will happen is your request is the same. Let us say this is one request. When the client sends this request, server receives the request. Server is going to dynamically calculate. There is no fixed request and response mapping here. Server is going to dynamically calculate, hey, this I received this request. What should be the response for this request? And the once server receives the request, after server receives the request, server starts calculating, okay, finding out what is the response. It's a dynamic. On the spot, it is going to calculate or figure it out. What is the response? And for server figure out some response and send the response to the client. If the client sends one more request, the same request, so again, server is going to receive that request. Server again going to dynamically figure out what is the response, and this response may be a different response. This is like response one. This might be a response two. Though the requests are the same, it is going to vary the response based upon the data, whatever is the server is connecting to. So both servers are connected. The server is connecting to the same. There is only one database inside the server. But when the server receives the request one, the data present in the database at that time is something only 4 rows in a one table. When server receives the same request second time after the 10 minutes or maybe after 20 minutes or maybe after some time, server again come to the database. At the time database having some 13 rows inside the table. In case of first response from the server sending only 4 rows as a response for this request. For the same request, server receives after 20 minutes. Server sends the second response 2, which containing some 13 rows inside it. So the data gets changed. The actual response is going to change. The content of the response is going to change on whether the request is the same. Though the request is the same, the content of the response is keep on changing because server is keep on dynamically finding out what is the response for this request once the server receives the request. This is what we call is a dynamic web applications. So nowadays, almost now more than 95 to 96%. More than 90. So these are all what dynamic web applications. Dynamic means there is some database connected, database we are storing some information, we are retrieving some information, we are deleting some information in the database. So it's all about a dynamic web applications. 99% it's a dynamic web applications only. Nowadays, no one is using the static because the business needs are tremendously increased. No one is happy with their business if they are running a static website. Forcefully or some whatever situation, they are going to have the dynamic web applications because they are feeling their results is with the dynamic web application is more better than the static web application business. So that's why this, they are spending some money on that building of the dynamic web applications, and they are using the dynamic websites for running their business, and they are seeing the best results. The dynamic websites. Clear? So these are two kind of categories. So now let us say what is a static? Static we already discussed. That is nothing but whenever you sending the request, same request, you send the same request n number of times, you are getting the same response. It will never change. Dynamic web application means when though you are sending the same request, once server receives that same request again and again and again, at that time server is going to start finding out what is the response for that same request. It all depends. The response for that same request is completely depend upon the information present in the table. At one point of time, the table contain very less information. At second time, when server receives the same request, the table might have a lot of information. It is going to send all the information the table have. So the content of the response will keep on changing in case of the dynamic web application sites. So now, I am not going to show how we are going to develop the websites here because that is not our agenda of this seminar or session here. So the basically web application development means there are two parts are going to come majorly. One is a front end and there is a back end. I segregate the entire web application development into two sections, two parts. One is a front end development and there is a back end one. Even in your offices also, companies also, if you are deployed into any project like a web application development project, then definitely you should be deployed to either front end team or back end team. You should be deployed to any one of the team. So we deployed to the front end team means yes, you will be requested or asked to develop all the front end code like HTML, CSS, React, and etc. etc. If you are deployed into the back end team, you will be asked to write a respective code like programming like Python code or Java code or framework code or API code, whatever it is. All are something a backend. Okay. So now the front end contains the following components inside the HTML and CSS, which is going to HTML means kind of, for example, you are going to display one text box. A simple, plain, and boring text box will be displayed. HTML is going. What CSS will do, CSS is going to make this makeup, a beautiful makeup for this text box. So it makes the text box more beautiful when compared to the plain. It is something like when we are in the home, we don't have any makeup. Whatever is our original status, like color or maybe hairstyle, everything that is a very natural. But when you're going like to any function or something ceremony or very big ceremony or something function or marriage or something, definitely you'll get a lot of makeup. Your hairstyle, your dress and styles, and maybe your face backup, face makeup, etc. Everything is going to change. That makeup part can be done by the CSS. And the action part, for example, there is a button, submit. When click on the submit, button is like one a normal plain button, and CSS is going to make the makeup to the more makeup to this button, making the button is more beautiful, more fantastic, and looking gorgeous sub button. And when click on the button, what should happen? The JavaScript is going to decide. When click on actions, when click on the button, when user clicks on that button, what is should happen? The JavaScript is going to provide that. And in case of React.js, yes, all such a functions or all actions, click on the button, what should happen? All such actions are more sophisticated actions are readily available, and you can able to just use them. No need to develop any code for this using such a fantastic and user-friendly actions, whatever is available in the React.js, so React framework. The UI user-friendly UI is there. The ready-made components is available. All the actions are also readily available. So it's easy for you to use the React framework for a very sophisticated and fantastic UI and also actions together. Clear? So these are the components what we see generally in case of front-end section. In case of back-end section, I am segregating this into three categories or maybe three sub-components. I can say the server, which is just simply a machine is having some operating system, some RAM like 32 GB RAM and memory hard disk is let us say 1 TB hard disk, something. It's just like a operating system and softwares, etc., etc. Apart from this, a database where the information is majorly saved. So like kind of a redbus.in, all the bus informations, all the locations, source and destinations, all the passengers, and all the timings of the buses, everything is stored in the database. When you just want to travel from, let us say, Delhi to, let us say, Gujarat. So now if you just go to the redbus.com, if you just hit sourcing, my source location is Delhi, my start point is Delhi, and ending point is my destination point is Gujarat, it is going to show the list of all the buses available. Agree? Bus number 1, 2, 3, 4, up to the 40 number of buses. Each bus is having some different timings. One bus starts with like 9 p.m. and is like 10 p.m., etc., etc., etc. So all these buses information based upon the source location and destination location, everything is stored in the database. Database is going to a place where almost entire data of your website will be saved. And the next is API, or I can say simply model API controller, MAC I can say simply. Okay. So this MAC means the backend coding. The backend means in this is one of the backend component. In this component, we are going to develop the APIs. So soon we are going to understand what is the API means and where we are going to use it, etc. No need to worry. But it is just going to we are in this component we are going to write a lot of programming language code. Why we are writing the programming language code? Like the programming language means here you can treat it as like a Java or Python or .NET or Node.js, any programming language you can use. That's not a big deal. But there is some programming language which is going to help to server to connect to the database, understanding the response, so request, connect to the database, fetching the data from the database tables, and placing that data inside a one response object or maybe one JSON for content, and sending that JSON content or maybe response object to the server or maybe React.js server or maybe client. All these things for all these actions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, we already discussed few minutes back. All these steps will be done by some programming language, and that is where the programming language is coming into picture. And this is nothing but that component. We are writing a lot of programming language code for all these steps. Step 1, 2, 3, 4 for every request. For every request. So we're going to build some modeling of the code, and we're going to building some APIs. We're going to write some code for controlling the request and response, etc. So many things. There must be a programming language to do all these things for a server. Server can't do all these things by its own. No, it is not possible. It needs some help. The help is a programming language help. Programming language can be anything. Anything. Okay. So coming to the first point, database. There are two type of databases we have seen so far. So one is a SQL database, and there is a NoSQL. SQL, the best examples for the SQL is MySQL or Oracle, or like I say MS SQL or SQLite 3. So these are the different examples software database of softwares of which are having the concept of SQL databases, where we are having some lot of tables, table 1, table 2, table 3 in a database, and of course there is a relationships between the multiple tables, etc., etc. NoSQL database is the, let us say, the best examples are Neo4j, Cassandra, MongoDB. So these are the best examples of very popular examples of the NoSQL database. Here we don't have any tables. Everything will be in the objects. Okay, so we are not going in detail of NoSQL databases now, but yes, there are NoSQL databases. So wherever we are seeing the very complex relationships between the one table to multiple tables in the SQL databases, what generally experts suggest is, okay, in that case, don't use the SQL databases, go for the NoSQL databases. If the tables, the relationship with tables are very simple. There is not a complex relationship between the one table to other tables. You go for the SQL databases. That is very good and sufficient for you. Okay, so there's two databases. Any database you can use. If you're going for SQL databases, these are the multiple options we have: MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, SQLite 3, etc., etc. There are many databases, but I just only mentioned only 3 or 4 which are very popular. Here also in NoSQL also we have multiple databases, but I mentioned very popular ones here: Neo4j, Cassandra, MongoDB, etc., etc. Okay, so now coming to our third part of this session. So this is model view controller. So basically, already mentioned, this model view controller needs to implement this particular component. We need help from some programming language. Here the programming language can be anything like Java, .NET, Python, Node.js, anything. It's not strictly should be a Python, it's not mandatory. Some programming language help the server needs to do all the step. One is understanding the request and connecting to database, fetching the data from the database, and placing that fetched data into a one JSON content or J1 response object, and sending that response object to the client or React JS server. So all these steps should be performed by the server with the help of one programming language. That can be anything. So here, so Mac means model. We are going to build the models, means the core business logic. For example, in the redbus.in, I'm just let us say Delhi to Gurgaon. So means when I hit the Delhi to Gurgaon, and the redbus is going to show a list of all the buses available between the Delhi and Gurgaon, right? Maybe there are some 30 buses. So how this 30 buses is coming, how the server is sending only these 30 buses which are traveling from Delhi to Gurgaon means, so whenever we are searching for this Delhi to Gurgaon, the source location is Delhi, destination location is Gurgaon, and we are sending these two informations to the server. I'm asking, the client is asking the server, hey server, I am sending the source location and destination location. You please send me the buses which are traveling between the Delhi location to Gurgaon location now. Then server receives that request. Server take the some one of the example, one of the help of the one programming language called Python, Java, etc., etc., and it defines what table it should connect and to extract this buses information which are traveling between the Delhi and Gurgaon. That is a kind of a core business logic. This logic is going to define, okay, which table I should connect and what data I need to fetch. Once server connects to the database and fetching executes this core business logic to get the required data from the respective table, buses table. And that buses should be only, we need the buses which are traveling between the Delhi to Gurgaon. That's it. And so now the controller, so once server receives the request, understanding the request, how to send the response, communications, traveling from one page to other page in the websites, all these things are like a controller is going to, there is also again one more programming language, one more code, one code snippet. This is one code snippet in Java or Python, whatever it is. This is also one code snippet. So each and every task is done by some code snippets, some lines of code, I can say. Code snippet means. So this code is in Java or Python, whatever the language you choose here. This code is going to do this, defining the core business logic. And this lines of code is going to decide how we are going to get the receives the request, and how we are going to sending the response, how we are going to moving from one page to other page, clicking on button, what should happen, everything. The code should be written in this one. What is the next page should come, everything written by the controller code. It's again the same programming language code. There is no other something control means this. Don't think it's a something different language, a controller language which we don't know. No. All are the Java or Python. For example, you are choosing Python here. All these components, model code and controller code, API code, everything you are going to develop in the Python only. And API code is something. So once you decide, so basically once you get the request, server is asking, the client is asking, hey, you send me the buses which are traveling between the Delhi to Gurgaon. And now, yes, model identifies, yes, it is, they are asking to send the logic or send the information of the buses which are traveling between the Delhi to Gurgaon. And API is a code which is part of the like something model or something. It is going to connect to the database and fetch the respective 30 buses only which are traveling between the Delhi to Gurgaon, and sends that request in a JSON format, create a JSON format, and sends that JSON format. This JSON content is readily available now. So means whenever you hit this, you ask this request, Delhi to Gurgaon, and the API code is readily available. Hey, if you are asking Delhi to Gurgaon, yes, this is my response in the JSON format. I am ready with my response. I am waiting for your request. Whenever I receive this request, I will send this response immediately. API code is basically for preparing the fetching to the connecting to database and getting the data from the database and creating the one of the JSON content, which the React server only can able to understand, and prepares that content and JSON response and ready to send it to React server. API code is only does that. API is always does the same thing. Connect to database and fetch the required data and prepare the required data in a JSON format and keep the data ready, response ready. That's it. Whenever somehow someone hits this request, and API code is sends this response immediately. This is also one of the code snippet which is doing this job always every time. API code is always does the same thing. For example, tomorrow I'm just going to say hitting of some you traveling of, for example, let us say Mumbai to Pune. So means what it means. So when server hits the client hits this location, Mumbai, I need the traveling buses between the Mumbai to Pune. The request comes to this one server. Some API code is readily available, which is going to connect to the database and fetches the buses which are traveling between the Mumbai to Pune and prepares that request response data and prepares that data in a JSON content and send that JSON content to the React server immediately. API is always does the same job. API means, when you say API means, if I am hitting some URL, some API, let us say my URL is something like redbus.in/Mumbai/2/Pune. So this is my URL, www dot. So this is my URL. If I'm hitting this URL, this is my API. I can say API URL. For this API, the API code is going to do this. What the API code will do? So once API code receives this URL as a request, what API code understands is, oh, okay, someone is expecting the buses, traveling buses between the Mumbai to Pune. So its API code immediately connects to the database and fetches all the buses which are traveling between the Mumbai to Pune and fetches that data and places that data in one JSON format and sends that JSON content to the React server. This is what the API means, and API code will do this thing. Always, this is like a routine job. There is no special meanings for the here API means. API means a URL which is going to be waiting as a one request. One API code sees that request, API code immediately comes to the database and fetch the respective data from the table, and the data will be placed in a one JSON content and send the JSON content back to the React server. Simple routine job. Is everyone clear with this API? What is API means? Okay, fine. So now this is my API, and now the question is, we already discussed. So there are many programming languages you are seeing. So server can take help from any programming language like Java, .NET, Python, etc., etc. Yes, we have multiple programming languages like Java and Node.js and .NET and Python. Of course, we have multiple programming languages. And if you like, you are choosing Java here. Yes, so for my web application development, for my backend code part, for backend coding part, I choose Java. I'm not interested in choosing the Node.js or .NET or Python. Let us say I choose Java. Then what we call is it's a Java-based web application. And if you want to build this model API and controller component and model component code and API code developments. So you don't need to write from the scratch. You don't need to write a code from the alphabet A, B, C, D, and etc. etc. No, nothing is required. So there is a one framework, what we call is a framework readily available in Java, which is helpful for you while writing this controller code, model code, and API code very, very faster. Why it is faster means almost all the code is readily available here. You just need to use that code and call the respective method and just use it. That's it. To give a simple example, why this framework means, to give a simple example. Let us say you are going to take a coffee. You are very passionate about the coffee and you want to take one coffee now. So, if you want to prepare a coffee yourself, how much time you think you need to prepare a coffee? How much time you think it's going to prepare a coffee? So, you need to take a milk, purchase a milk, some coffee powder, and you should know how to prepare a coffee on the stove. You need to burn the switch on the stove and boil the milk, and some procedure, some recipe procedure is there. And definitely this procedure is going to take some 15 to 20 minutes of time. You agree? If you want to prepare to take a coffee, definitely you should know how to prepare a coffee, the recipe procedure. You should have the milk, you should have the coffee powder, you should have the sugar, etc. etc. This whole process will take some 20 minutes of time for sure. I am damn sure about it. You think can you able to prepare a coffee within like less than like 10 minutes or 5 minutes? Yes, the coffee definitely will take some 20 minutes of time. Or minimum to minimum 15 minutes of. So what I say is here is, for example, this is one scenario. Other scenario is, for example, the coffee is readily available in the flask. There is one flask where the coffee is readily available, hot coffee, very hot coffee, and you have like one sugar cubes, one bowl sugar cubes are there. Okay, and you have like an empty cup and saucer. If you have this kind of arrangement with you, how much time you will take to make the coffee? The actual coffee is readily available in the very hot coffee is readily available in the flask. You have a separate bowl having a sugar cubes inside it. You have an empty cup and saucer, empty spoon also available. And in this procedure, in this scenario, how much time you think to take a coffee? Anyone answer in the chat? How much time you think to take a coffee here? 30 seconds. Yes, obviously 30 seconds, not more than that. And the advantage here is you can able to take a sufficient sugar cubes whatever you want. You take 2 or 3 as per your taste. So here the 20 minutes of time, it's like only 30 seconds of time. Both are the coffee, both are very delicious, both are very hot. There is no difference for me. Then if there is no difference for me, then why I should waste my 20 minutes of time here to prepare a coffee rather than just take the coffee directly from the flask by taking some sugar cubes and pour it in the cup and saucer, etc. Simple. It's a simple job, right? Such a kind of thing. See here how this different coffee flask, some sugar cubes, and some cup and saucer and spoon, all our components are readily available to you, right? Similarly, a framework is something like whatever is the components you generally develop in the any web application. User registrations, logins, logout, forget password, and change password. So much of frequently, let's say, but displaying the data in a table format, some list format, or maybe some forms. So many of things, so many thousands of components are there. All those components are readily available here. If you're using the Java, there is a framework called Spring Boot, which is having those components are readily available for you. You just use them and develop your code very quicker, faster. You can able to develop the application very faster. For example, you choose .NET for your server helping. So the server is going to take the help of .NET programming language here to do the step one, like serving this, receiving the request, and fetching to connect to database and getting the data, or sending the responses, all these things. So there is a one framework called ASP.NET. ASP.NET is a one framework readily available in the Microsoft. which is going to serving the same purpose. Means all the website development components, like all the like buttons, everything is readily available here. Not buttons, clicking on the buttons, like how we're receiving the request, understanding the request, preparing the responses, and API codes, everything is readily available here. If you take some Node.js as a backend coding, yes, Express.js and Nest.js are readily available. The frameworks which are readily available for you to have all the components readily available, you just use them. In case of Python, yes, there are three frameworks available like Django or Flask or FastAPIs. FastAPI. So this is also one of the framework which is readily available. Three ready frameworks available in Python. If the server is going to use a Python as a programming language, yes, you can use any of these three frameworks which are readily available in Python to build your web applications, websites very faster and easier and quicker. So now the question is, which programming languages to choose? Do I need to choose Java or Python or .NET or Java or Node.js? Why we are recommending only Python? Why not other? I am not against any other programming language like Java, .NET, etc. Those are also very good. But why people are running behind Python nowadays? Or maybe my question in different ways. Let me just show in front of you. Let us say I'm just going to my browser. I'm just going to running, let us say, top most programming language in 2025. Let us see what is it. 2025, Python is projected as a remain a topmost, remain projected to remain the topmost. So means in 2024 it's already top. It is remain to be top in the 2025 also as like showing. So I go to my some of the like let us say top list like a top program in 2025. Let us see how they are going to so what these websites are going to say. So top 25 programming language. I cannot assure that every website is going to do the same thing. So now see that number one is Python. Number one, it's saying Python. Let me go to the other website. Um, this is okay. This is some list. Let us say, yeah, list to learn. Okay, top future programming. So this is let's go this. So other thing is also recommended. See, the Python is number one. Clear? So you go to the most of the websites. I am not saying this. This is not my interest of speaking actually. Almost most of the websites and most of the experts are saying right now. Right now, I cannot say about the future, guys. Future can be anything. So any other programming language may come in future tomorrow, and that may replace Python. That may happen at any time. I cannot assure that. But right now, in the current situation, current market level, so the Python is the number one programming language right now. Why? The question is why? Why the Python is becoming number one right now? Any any reason anyone knows that is what is the reason why everyone is running behind Python? Or maybe my question is why Python is becoming the number one right now? I'm sure before like 6 years or 7 years, Java was number one, as per my knowledge. But how the Python beat Java? So there are some multiple. It's not like a blind. Everyone is running behind Python, so I am also running behind Python. No, Python is a versatile programming language. Of course, Java is also versatile up to some extent, but Python is fully versatile actually. So means if you know Python, if you learn Python programming language, so there are multiple domains or multiple segments or sectors you can able to work. You can do the web development using Python. You can also do the data engineering with Python, data analytics with Python, data science. You are going to act as a data scientist with Python, and you can do the mobile app development with Python. You can do automation testing scripts also with Python, game development with Python. So everything you can do it using the Python. Of course, I am saying Python is not only sufficient to do all these things. I agree. So if you do the website development, you should know the Python for sure, which is the heart of the website development. Apart from this Python, you should also need the database concepts to store some database information and some framework called Django or Flask or FastAPI. Anything, any framework you can able to use. So apart from the Python, you should know these two concepts, DB concepts and framework concepts. If you want to work as a data engineer, you should know the Python for sure. Apart from the Python, you should also know the data libraries called like, NumPy, Pandas, and some little bit database concepts. If you want to work as a data scientist with the Python, you should know the Python for sure. And apart from that, you should also learn the data libraries called NumPy Pandas, plus machine learning concepts, plus deep learning concepts, and for example, generative AI concepts, etc., etc. Generative is a specialization. What special like generative AI or computer vision or NLP? What is the specialization you want? You can go it or time series, anything. But the data libraries, machine learning, deep learning concepts are mandatory. So for all these things, Python is a basic. It's a mandatory. I am the best example because I worked in the web Python full stack in my career for a few years, maybe 6 years or something. It's easy for me to switch from web development to data scientist because Python is already, I know the Python very well. I use the Python very well for so many years, 5, 6 years. So for me, it's easy to switch from one domain to other domain because the only extra thing I need to learn is only this part only, but not from the again from the Python because I already know Python very well. So you can easily switch from one segment to other segment at any time in your career because this is fully versatile. Means if you know the Python, any one of these jobs you will be eligible by knowing some extra, by learning some extra things. So, but here, yes, for using Java, also we can do the web development, games development we can do, automation testing scripts also we can do up to some extent, and mobile application. That's it. But we cannot do the AI development, artificial intelligence development using Java. We cannot do using the data science Java. We cannot do data engineering with Java. We cannot do the data analysis with Java. No, that is not possible. Only these things can be possible with Java. And I'm sure nowadays, so many people who are learning, who are coming to my batches, who are learning to want to learn Python, they are saying that when I ask, okay, why you are learning Python, they will say, hey, sir, actually we are a testing team. We need generally automation testing scripts. But nowadays, my team leads are asking to write the testing scripts in the Python. So Python is like what they are going to learn now to write the testing scripts from Selenium scripts to the Python scripts. So everyone is shifting from the current technology to the Python, wherever they are using. Even website development also, whatever is the current websites or new websites they are developing now, they are preferring Python only. Clear? Anyone have any questions so far? Anyone have any questions? Yes, Python is an interpreted programming language, Shubham. Correct. You are right. That is correct. Yes, Shekhar, you are correct. Multiple applications, multiple purposes. So the entire domains is completely changed. So I cannot use the website development knowledge in the data science segment. Data science segment needs some different knowledge. Yes, of course, for that also, the Python is a mandatory. I should start my learning journey from Python. Clear? So threading and parallel, yes, threading and parallel processing, everything is possible. Parallel processing is also possible. Yes, that is correct. So whatever Java can do, Python can do for sure. No doubt about it. Whatever Python can do, Java can't able to do. Because example is data science, data analysis, data engineering. All these things Java can do. Java cannot do. But only Python can do. Website development, game development, and testing scripts and all these things Java can do and Python also can do effectively without any doubt. So there is an advantage with Python, guys. Don't run blindly behind the Python. Hey, because my friend is also learning Python, my brother is also learning Python, so I am also learning Python. No. There is a reason why everyone is running behind Python now. There is a reason. So that's why Python is getting number one in right now in the current market. In 2024, 25, Python is number one.
Actually, sir, there are lots of questions.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, there are so
So,
many questions.
okay, so let us take some time to answer the questions actually. So, yeah, Python is slow when compared to C++. Yes. Why? Because Java. Let us, I'll take the Java. Comparison of Java with Python. So, because in case of Java is a compiled programming language, Python is an interpreted programming language. So, interpreted programming language, both are the programming languages only, both are high level programming languages. The way the Python code executes, a different mechanism is there, or different process is there. The way the Java code executes, a different process is there. So, there is not a between Python and Java, it's a difference between the interpreted programming language slow, so is always slow when compared to compiled programming language execution speed. So Python is an interpreted programming language, so it's always going to execute a bit slow when compared to Java, but it is what Python did it makes the code more optimized in Python. All the libraries, but there's so much of data science libraries called scikit-learn and NumPy, Pandas. These are all well optimized, which is going to run very faster when the millions of data set also. In my office, generally nowadays, actually in my projects, we generally deal with the millions of data set, 2 millions, 3 millions, 5 millions, etc. Python is going to code is going to run very faster because the libraries, NumPy library, Panda library, these are very best optimized. So that's why we can able to, yeah. Pritish, you're saying something?
No, no, like we have some questions. If you want, like I can like read questions.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So,
So, uh, Praveen Kumar is asking difference between web developer and AI developer.
okay. So, Praveen Kumar, the first web development is you are basically building the website. For example, redbus.in, bookmyshow.com, irctc.com, something, any website. It's totally a website user interface you are building so that can able to user can able to access it. But I say AI development means you are building a model which is can able to train. The model should be trained. Once model is trained, the model can able to predict your future. Your future means not your and mine future, but any future whatever you want it. For example, the future you I build a model today. I am giving the training to my model all the like last EVT's IPL matches. There are 8 IPL matches series go event so far. I feed my model to all the eight for per IPL season. There are some lot of matches, some 40, 50 matches are there, right? Every match I'll feed as a training to my model. My model understand okay what is happening on the IPL, which team is winning, which team is for every who is scoring fast and who is the reason for the winning the team. The model will understand. After that, if you just feed this IPL season, this is my teams, this is my players, these are my schedule. Then my model is going to predict something. Hey, as per the my learning for the last 8 IPL seasons, in this season, if this is your team structure, and this is the team I am expecting to win. My winning confidence is, let us say, some 77% or yes, it is 82%. AI is something you're going to predict the future based upon the learning what we have. It is something like just a human brain. Like, for example, now you are traveling from, let us say, your college to home to your college. So, for the last 1 year of time, you are daily traveling from home to college and college to home. Based upon your experience, if someone asks you, hey, how much time you will take today? Based upon your experience, you will simply say, hey, I need some 20 minutes of time to travel from home to college. How you are saying that? Because you are estimating for the last 1 year, usually how much time you are going to take to travel from home to your college. Based upon that same, you are simply saying, yes, this is what my observation for the last 1 year. Same thing has also happened today also. That's it. Nothing else. AI is something like going to predict future. Okay. Yes. Preeti, next question.
He's like asking once again. So referring choose this bus in redbus.in.
Okay.
No, actually the same person is asking who asked a question now. The same person is asking, so referring those, this bus is in redbus.in.
Bus. Sorry, where is this question? Is it a Q&A section?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So referring the choose this bus in a red bus. This bus. So referring choose this bus in red. What is this bus? Actually, I am not getting that this
Uh,
bus means.
Praveen, can you please write it once again?
Yeah. Praveen, can you please describe your question more in a more better way?
He
Because
has
I'm not.
written use bus.
Okay, so use bus. Okay, choose use bus in red bus. Yeah, so for lower price. So because I'm just giving an example, guys. Actually, red bus is one of the website. I'm just giving an example. So don't take it as like I'm asking you to use the red bus. Okay, so I'm just take any website you take. Book my show, which we are using for booking your movie tickets. Right? For any business, they are all running the business, bus business and movie ticket business, etc., etc. For any business, they need the website, and they are running their business on the websites. And for that, they need the website, and we are the developers which are going to build those websites for their business people. You
Okay,
get it, Praveen?
hopefully.
Yeah.
He wrote one more question.
Yeah,
With
fine. Yeah. So with available data recommendations, I mean after the building website with available data recommendations. So here, AI is once you as a website developer or web developer, your part is only develop the website. There is nothing to do with the data trainings and data using the data, etc., etc. You are the developer who are going to build a nice and beautiful user interface to the humans who can able to use your website to book the tickets. In the book my show, what you will do, what we are all doing is just if I want to watch some movie, okay, Chava or something, we are going to book our movie. That's it. Our part is, and the developer part is, where developer is giving some user interface, some facility for user to book the movie tickets. That's it. They are booking the ticket. The ticket information is stored in the database. But now the AI is coming into picture. Now the question in the book my show. So for example, tomorrow there is one more nice movie is coming. For example, Salman Khan movie or Amir Khan movie or something like. So now the question to the book my show is, if the movie is getting released today, how much of tickets will be sold in next 1 week? Next, no one knows. That is a future. But if I train a model, take one model, build one model, and then I train one model on the data of all the last 20 years of my book my show data, then the model is going to expect something. Hey, the Salman Khan movie is going to release today. Then the next 1 week, the movie tickets will be sold so and so. Like for example, 2,200 crores revenue is going to generate. It's just an expectation. It's getting expecting, predicting some future. It may happen up to some extent, not exactly the same, but it is going to happen some. So AI is something we are going to predict the future. We are interested to predict. For example, I am running a business and I want to know what is my next year revenue. If then I will build a model, I will train the model for the last 20 years of my revenue of my website, sorry, my business, then model is going to predict something. Hey, if this is based upon your last 20 years of revenue schedule, my prediction is you are going to get some, let us say, 2% hike in your revenue for the next year. Clear?
yes,
So, okay. So
actually,
now, yeah. So let me go. Okay, okay. So Praveen, if you want to know the recommendations engine is website, for example, IMDb, how rate movies. So we want to some recommendations on recommendation engines, sir. So using out website, for example, IMDb. IMDb means, may I know what is the IMDb, Praveen? Yeah, how they read the movies is there's a rating the movies are different. Actually, there are so many movie critics are there. There are
hmm,
some people are running as a movie critics. They are going to watch the movie just on the first day or before a premiere show or something, and based upon their movie experience or critic experience, they are going to rate movie on them. That's a different thing. But here, well, how the movie is going to be in the people's side, we are going to predict. That's a different things. Okay. Yeah, movie rating. That's all that movie rating websites is their critics. Critics are going to run, not AIs are running that. Okay. So okay, so
Sir, actually, Poojan is asking two questions. Uh, is React.js open
React is
source?
a React is a purely open source.
Yes.
Even Python is also purely open source.
Okay, and another question he is asking is Python helpful in case of multi-tenancy?
So you mean tenancy means multi-threading, Pujan? Is multi-threading is what you're asking? If so, yes, Python is going to be helpful there also. Yes, I already mentioned whatever the Java can do, Python can do. Simple. If we use Python for web application development, I need HTML, CSS, Java. So for front end, right? So Java is not for front end, Sai Kumar. So if you want to use a web applications, you need for a front end development. You need for front end development is what I'm talking about. You need to learn the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, and Bootstrap. These are the five things you should learn if you want to learn only the front end development. For back end development, you should learn the Python and Django or Flask or FastAPI. Any framework is sufficient. Yeah, multi-client hosting, yes, I think so. Yes, that's all a networking side, Pujan. But is as per my knowledge, networking, I am not a very expert in the networking side because I am expert in the web development as well as data science side. So multi-client hosting, I am not 100% sure, but as per my knowledge, yes, the answer to the question is yes. Why we use Java if Python is better? That is the question. So the answer to your question, Naveen, very simple answer. Whoever is already developed the web applications using Java a many years back, let us say 5 years back or 4 years back, they are still running their web applications in the Java only because if they want to shift their or build their web application in the Python now, because the Python is getting popular now, again they need to spend lakhs of or crores of money to just build their same website in the Python again. Because they have to consult to any service-based company called Infosys, TCS, Wipro, etc. The requirement is, hey, I'm already running my website in Java. I want to build the same website in Python. It is just a one programming language change. So again, a Wipro company is going to spend a lot of developers and testers on building the same website in the Python. They will charge like so much of dollars an amount from the clients. And why they will waste their money of just changing the website from Java to Python? Is there any meaning for it? No meaning. But if any newcomer is want to develop their website first time, they will never go to the Java for sure, as per the current market standards. They will definitely go to the Python because Python is versatile and it's more faster and effective than the Java framework called Spring Boot. Then why I need to build Java, use Java? Productivity is more in Python when compared to Java. Clear?
Sir, actually, Zubair Ahmed is asking in chat box,
Yeah.
coder still required or AI will replace it in how many years? What alternative career choice in tech then?
Okay. Right. So this I know this question is from many people from the last couple of years. So one thing is for sure, guys. I mean, I am seeing so many people in so many social media saying that yes, you are getting replaced and no jobs, nothing, etc. So in my opinion, because I am in the field, data science field and generative expert in this field, my opinion is, in fact, no one can tell that right now. Everyone is talking just with their own opinion in their mind. Okay, AI is going to replace that person, this person, no jobs, nothing. We are all missions, then etc. There is nothing is. I am not sure about the after the 20 years what is going to happen. But in the next 20 years, I can say. But no one is going to predict the future of the 20 years what is going to happen. In my point of view, so definitely AI can't able to replace the developers. So the purpose of the AI is, understand this logic is very simple. The purpose of the AI is, or right now what it is happening is, wherever the some dumb work is going on, dumb work, which is no brains are required, just passing this information to that information or something. Very small amount of brains is required, a daily or a fixed amount of work almost. Such a place where we are all entire business are identifying in their business line, in the business line, where we are having the dumb works are going on, or very work which are having very small brain is required. Replace everything with the artificial intelligence. But if something, now we are the developers, we are going to use our brains effectively for writing the code. See here, a simple concept is a farmer who is also working hard for from 9 a.m. to almost 6 p.m. daily, but or maybe some daily labor who is also working very hard from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They, how much they are daily labor, their daily amount they are getting, maximum some 1,000 rupees or maybe 500, 600, etc. Ideally, we should also get the same, right? We're also working from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We should, why we are getting more? Why the companies are paying more lakhs of salaries for us? Because we are not doing the physical work, we are doing the brain work. Remember this. So we are getting paid only for our brains, for our knowledge. AI is not going to do that such a sophisticated like our senior brain work, not like that. AI is going to help you somewhere. For example, you want to write some code. AI is going to give some outline code. Hey, this is the way you need to write a code. If you just copy paste the code in your project is going to work giving 100%, then you don't require in my company. I am also don't require for my company. Clear? So both of us is not required for company. Company will choose some build some AI tool, and we are all on the roads. But that is not going to happen in the next 20 years for sure. But after the 20 years, no one knows. Even I don't know. And people are who speaking very lightly in the social media, they also doesn't know. But they are speaking something. Okay, so don't worry about the jobs. So your job will be secured. You are not going to do for the dumb jobs and very small amount of brain works. Your brain is very sharp, and you are going to read with the engineering, and you are learn so much of things, and that definitely is going to be far better when compared to the AI. So don't worry about it. At least for the next 20 years, I can guarantee. But after 20 years, no one knows what is going to happen because AI is very fast, developing very fast, very fast.
Shubham is telling, in my knowledge, AI would not be able to replace the developer. But if we are not familiar with the AI technologies, then other can take your development role and responsibility.
Yeah, I saw some actually some people who are making some say advertisement saying that okay, you are getting paid of 43 lakhs of salary just for chat GPT tools. This is very so these are all nonsense, guys. No company is going to pay for you like 40 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 70 lakhs just for chat GPT and PPTs and preparation using the AI tools. No, there is no such word. They are just misleading everyone. So of course, that this AI tools are going to help you definitely for sure, but not getting the salary of 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs. No. So if you are, for example, you are going to prepare some PPT for your client, you are going to take some 7 days of time. Using that some AI tools, you can take the same preparation of the same PPT, you can take so only for 2 days or 3 days. You can save your time. That's it. You can save your time. But not you are not going to pay for 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs just for AI tools. No. It is just misleading people, and I don't know how they are doing, what confidence they are doing. It's totally misleading. So don't worry about that. It's a total misleading concept. I don't know who generated that concept. So no company is going to pay just for you 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs just for chat GPT and AI tools. No, not at all. If that is simple, chat GPT is very simple. I'll ask some question, it will return give you some answer. That's it. What is the learning point there in the chat GPT? There is nothing you need to learn, right? If that is just nothing learning, if companies are going to pay some 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs to you, no. They are the chat GPT is a user, is for the users. Whoever wants to use the AI, yes, chat GPT available. Who wants to build the AI? What are the people who wants to build the AI? Clear?
Uh, Sorry to interrupt in between.
Yeah.
I would like to request everyone. I have one session feedback form. I'm launching it. Please do fill it out. Till we are taking questions. Okay. There's a question. Is React server separately hosted or is React supported by the commonly available shared web hosting services? I mean, is it mandatory to have a VPS hosting to be able to have React based website?
It's not mandatory that the React and let's say any Python like Django server or maybe Flash server, whatever it is, you fast API server, need not to be on the same VPS hosting. You can have a different things also. In of course, in Office, maybe it depends upon the application size. For example, your application is very huge applications. There's a lot of requests you are going to get at this say concurrent request. I can say lot of concurrent requests you are going to get. Then one VPS server, it's difficult for attending or receiving a lot of requests from a single like multiple people in a one shot. So at the time, what we'll distribute our servers. DB is in one server, React server is another machine, another VPS hosting, and Django is another VPS hosting. So we are going to each and every mission they are all in the network. So one mission can able to connect it to. So for example, my server, which is in mission one, unable to send a request to a Django server in other mission two. Django server again come to the mission 3 where the database is present. It is going to come to database and fetch the data and get the data from the mission 3. That is possible. That is what we generally do when we are real-time projects. Provided the application is very big application and lot of concurrent users are working on it. So that's it. To avoid the load balancing, we are going to perform all these things. But if you want, like your application is very small and very less number of people, concurrent users are working on it, yes, in one single VPS hosting, you can able to have the database and React.js server and Django server, etc., etc. Everything you can have in one machine only. That is fine. But it need not to be separated. It need not to be in the same machine. Depends upon your situation. You can do anything.
Okay, Chaitanya, like if we have PPTs left, then we can take questions at last.
Yeah, right. So very few slides are left. We'll probably will complete it. Then we'll just come to these questions and answers. Okay, guys, just give me like few more minutes. We can close it. So this is the versatile. That's why we are choosing the Python. And one more specialities of Python is so Python is having very huge support libraries. So the very first reason I can say Python is open source. Java is not. So Java was almost like 6 years back or 7 years back, Java was open source. Once Java is purchased by Oracle, Oracle made it as a license. Means if you want to use Java for your commercial purposes, I'm saying commercial purposes, you need to purchase Java from Oracle company. If you want to use Java for learning purpose, yes, there is a OpenJDK is one more version what Oracle is introduced. For if you want to learn Java, yes, you can able to use the OpenJDK. But if you want to use your commercial purposes like your website, running your business and etc. commercial purposes, you have to purchase the Java. But in case of Python, it's a purely open source. There is a website called www.python.org. So this is the official website of the Python where you can able to download the latest version of the Python. In fact, any previous versions of the Python also available. So you can download it and install it. There is no license you need to purchase. There is no amount you need to spend, etc., etc. It's very totally free for you. Okay, that is one of the biggest thing. And of course, when compared to Java and other programming languages, Python is definitely easy to learn because in case of Java, we have a static typing. There is a concept called static typing, but in case of Python, it's a dynamic typing. Because of dynamic typing concept and any other concepts, so Python is definitely made more easy to learn when compared to Java and other programming languages. Because I am the person who started my career with Java, moved to again Python, so I can tell confidently about based upon my experiences, definitely Python is more easy when compared to Java. Definitely, 100%. So easy to learn, definitely easy to write also. And Python is having a lot of huge number of support libraries. For example, using Python, you want to work with Excel files, XLS files. So there is simply OpenPy Excel library is there, OpenPy Excel. You want to work with data engineering, yes, Pandas and NumPy is there. You want to work with, let us say, data science, scikit-learn is there, machine learning at least, deep learning, PyTorch. So many libraries. If you go to any segment, anything you want to work with Java, library is readily available. Hey, you don't develop anything. I already developed it. Use my things. Use the my library and do your development more faster. Finish it more faster. And Python is powerful like a Java. So the powerfulness is both for Java and Python also, because both cooperative programming languages is going to support the object-oriented programming language concepts called classes, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, okay, encapsulation, aggregation, composition, etc. All these object-oriented programming language concepts. Of course, both Java and Python both supports it. And the one more, the one of the best reason why the Python is getting more popular is developer productivity. Developer productivity is the only reason why the Python is number one in right now in the market. Not because of everyone is running behind Python, and not because my friend is learning Python, and not because Chaitanya is learned Python. No. So developer productivity, the productivity means there is a task, some task. Task is read the file, read the file, and calculate some average of some information. Some just read the file. For just reading the file, you go and check and write a Java code. In Java code, you cannot read the file unless otherwise you just write the code of, let us say, some 15 to 20 lines of code. Buffer writers or buffer reader and reader. So much of like class you need to build. First, you need to build a class. After then, public static void main method, and on the main side of the main method, you need to write a code of like buffer reader, all these readers, and close, write, open, everything you need to write. But in Python, there is only 2 lines of code just to read the file. 2 lines, just 2 lines. I don't need to build a class. I don't need to build like a public static void main method. Nothing is required. If this is the comparison, then definitely if there is a project comes tomorrow, if I go and develop the Java, it's going to take some 2 years of time. In Python, it is going to take some almost 6 months of time. If only 6 months of time, the client is going to pay the company only for 6 months. And your website is ready within the 6 months. But here, in case of Java, website is going to client needs to wait for 2 years of time, and client has to pay to the company for the 2 years. The more money, more waiting time, less money and less waiting time too. That is the reason why many clients are preferring or asking the IT companies, hey, you please develop our project or software in Python only. Hence, there is a request, there is a demand coming from the clients to the companies. Companies also recruit, trying to search for the more Python developers when compared to Java developers. Since companies are demanding or maybe requesting or looking for more Java Python developers when compared to Java developers, people are also learning more Python when compared to Java. The request is, the demand is getting starting from the clients, clients to companies, companies to people or students, or maybe job seekers. The request is started from here, client to company. Company is also demanding the same, hence the people are learning Python when compared to Java. So this is the developer productivity is one of the best reason I can say, or practical reason I can say, why the Python is most popular nowadays. Why we have the more opportunities in Python when compared to Java. I'm not saying Java is a waste. Java is a good, but there is one more superior programming is there when compared to Java. That is the problem here. Okay, so many people have like choose which framework. We have in the Python, we have frameworks of what is the frameworks? Django is one framework I told for web development, and Flask and FastAPI. 3 frameworks are available. So now the question is, which framework we need to choose? All frameworks are good. There is nothing like, okay, this framework is bad and this framework is best and etc. But why we have the three frameworks is, remember this point very clearly. Many people doesn't have idea about this. So the point here is Django is a very standard Python. These are all the Python frameworks, Python web development frameworks. So standard and I can say vast framework. Vast means if you are looking for any option in web development, like any option, what the option you are looking for, is Django is available. Django have that option available for you. Just use it. That's it. For example, Flask. Flask is a small, maybe a medium level framework. Of course, it's also very good, but it's not. It's also a very good framework, and also 100% options are not available like Django, but very good amount of options, like whatever is the frequently used options, definitely they are available here in the Flask also, but not 100%. It is something like, just to give a simple example for your better understanding. For example, there is your home is there and college is there. In your home, you have a cycle, you have a bike, and you have a car, and you have like a minivan also. All four vehicles are available in your home. You are a rich guy, let us say. So, if the distance between the home to college is just, let us say, 500 meters, it means half kilometer, I can say. Then you tell me what vehicle you use to travel from home to college. Anyone suggest? If the distance between your home to college is just a 500 meters, and what vehicle you use? Cycle or bike or car or minivan? Cycle. Why everyone is not choosing the minivan? Minivan is also a vehicle. You can travel more easy when compared to cycle. Cycle you need to ride, right? You need to use some energy to ride the cycle. Walking, of course, walking is also more better option, but there is no such walking option here I am giving. Chandrasekhar. Distance is less, you are choosing the cycle. Very good option, let us say. Let us say your distance between the home to college is not the 500 meters, it is, let us say, 4 kilometers. Now let us see what vehicle you are going to use here. Distance between the college to home is 4 kilometers. Out of these 4 vehicles available in your home, which one you are going to use it? Bike. Yes, it's a very good option when come to 4 kilometers. That is the distance between the college and the home is 20 kilometers. Then which one you are going to use? Car. So it means all are the vehicles only. You are changing the preference of the vehicle depends upon the distance. Agree? Minivan, car, both are fine. Yes. So it means why you are changing your vehicle, because distance is increasing. You are preferring to, you are choosing a better choice. But when you say 500 meters, everyone choose the cycle only. Why cycle? Because it's a very less distance. Cycle is exactly suitable for the 500 meters distance. That is how the cycle is designed. Agree? Similarly, here also depends upon your application size, what the application you are going to develop, and the complexity of the application, and database complexities and application complexities. You are going to choose out of these three. Django is having all the options. Every option is there. What are the, for even the complex web applications also, what are the option you are looking for? Django is available. Make it available. Just use it. That's it. But if you're building a very small web application, like matter of list only 10 pages web application, and data is very simple, then which one you are going to choose? For me, the Fast API is better, because Fast API is, the name is a Fast API. So which is not having all the options like Django is having. Very limited options are available, and those limited options are quite enough for me to build a web application with only having 10 pages, because my application is very small and simple and no complexity. If my application is not a very simple one, like some 40 pages of application, not a very complex one, like a simple one only, but more number of pages and more, a little bit databases tables are a little bit like having a more relationships when compared to simple one, I'll go for the Flask. If my application is too expensive, too cost, too complex, I'll go for the Django. Up to my choice. It's all depends upon, it's not like my personal choice. No. It's all depends upon what website you are going to develop, how complex that is, how data is maintained, very is easy data or simple data or complex data. It's all depends upon that. We are going to choose Django or Flask or FastAPI. All are good. You are just choosing the correct option depends upon your website complexity and data complexity. That's it. If something is bad, then we never use that at any cost. Cycle is not a bad. Cycle is a good. If you are going to walk for like 200 meters, 300 meters, cycle is good. If cycle is bad, no cycle manufacturers is present in the India. They'll close their shutdown, they shut down their business and they'll go to home. That's it. Clear? As simple as that. So Fast API is not a best, or Django is not a best in Flask. So every framework is having some suitable scenarios. Depends upon your scenario, you have to choose wisely which framework you need to use it. But I'm giving one more information to you guys. Let's be cautious about this information. If you learn Django, you go into the interviews, I am sure no one is going to learn all the three frameworks. No. Generally, anyone says that, okay, I am specialized in Flask. I am expert in Fast API. I am like more expertise in the Django. So when you go to the interview, they'll ask, hey, which framework you know, Django or Flask or Fast API. You have to tell. If you tell Django, then they will see that, okay, this guy is already a Django expert, which is having all the vast framework, standard and vast framework. Almost all options are available. Then for him, learning a small framework, Fast API is a very matter of just learning a syntax. It's not a matter, just a matter of syntax. All the options, whatever is available in Django, those options are also available in the Fast API also. It's a matter of learning the syntax of the Fast API framework, and that's it. If you say in interview, I'm learning like Flask, I'm expert in Fast API and etc., then you should also learn Django, because Django is a superior. Superior means having more options. Fast API is having very less options. But for building the small applications, this Fast API is more than enough. Agree. So you have to wisely choose which framework to use for your website. And my preference is you always learn Django plus anything whatever you want, like Flask or Fast API. It is the best option. So you have to learn at least two, or at least if you are unable to learn two things, sir, I don't have much of time learning. I cannot spend much time on learning the two frameworks. Go for the Django. It's a very standard and versatile and vast framework. So sufficient time is Django plus the Flask or Fast API, up to your choice. Clear? Okay, so this is the way that we need to choose the frameworks. And in total, what we call is, this is a Python full stack course, because we are choosing the Python programming language here for backend coding. So what we say Python full stack? Python full stack is usually contains the following modules: core Python or complete Python, and database concepts and framework like Django or Flask or Fast API, and also front-end technologies called HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, React.js. So this entire course, what we call is a Python full stack. So when you say building the APIs means this, you cannot build, you cannot just only the Python and building the API code. No, you should learn. So what database you need to connect? API also always going to come to database, and database concepts you should know. There are many tables in the database. Tables, columns, rows, primary keys, foreign keys, all information you should know again. And this Fast API is one of the frameworks. You should know the framework concepts also. So basically, it's in a different words, I can say it's not only just building the APIs in Python and Fast API. It's a kind of a complete full stack course, Python full stack course. If you want to eliminate the front end, yes, you can eliminate, up to your choice. But these things you should learn if you want to go for the at least building APIs with Python. Core Python you should learn. Fast API framework you should learn. Database concepts also you should learn. If you learn this also, I can say it's a full stack developer. and then you can say just only the backend developer. Okay, so these are the different job roles we have, like front end developer, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, React.js, Python developer, and backend developer. Backend developer means database concepts and frameworks and everything. Full stack developer, he knows the person knows both the backend and front end. Web developer also we can say sometimes. Only mobile app backend developer also the Python is much useful. So many jobs, eligible job roles are there. So everyone is going to call some different names and different roles, etc. Okay, skill sets are also maybe differ. So be cautious while you are choosing the correct role. So full stack developer means you should know both the back end and front end. Both front end also required. Clear? Yeah, that's all from my side. Okay, probably we'll move to the question and answers now. Okay. So right, Shaker depends upon application complexity, business requirements. Choose the right framework. Yes, that is the correct. Why not the VS Code for Microsoft framework? So Microsoft framework is see here, in case of Python, we have only three frameworks available in web applications. One is Django, Flask, and FastAPI. Microsoft framework Visual Studio Code is a Visual Studio Code. That's a C++ actually, Shaker. And there is a like VS Code is a tool. It's a software where we are going to raise a Python. For example, let me just show my screen actually here, just for your better understanding. If you want to write a Python, we have two tools. One is a PyChart. This is one tool where we can able to write a Python code. And there is one more tool is called VS Code. The code name, this is my Python tool, looks like this. And my one more tool is something like VS Code. This is my VS Code. Let me open the VS Code also. This is my PyChart where I can write some Python code. So this is my VS Code tool. Both are the development environments where I can able to write my Python code. So any tool you can use, Shaker. Okay. So up to your choice. Because I like PyCharm because a PyCharm is a very classy look. Only look difference. All options are the same. Because I like the classy look rather than the mass look, I'll go with the PyCharm. If you like the mass look, go for the VS Code. There is no clear. Yes. So anything you can use, Shaker, up to your choice. But all options are almost the same. So Django is not like a connection. So Django is a code where you can able to use the Django. Is VS Code. PyCharm is just a tools where you can write to some Python code. It is a tool. It is going to provide you some Python facilities, executing the Python code very faster, etc., etc. VS Code is an IDE. Yes, Shubham. Python IDE. Development environment. Yes. VS Code. Of course, VS Code is not only the development environment for Python. It's a like generic IDE. So where we can use the VS Code for Java projects also, Python projects also, Node.js projects also. Everywhere you can use. PyCharm is only specialized only for the Python projects. Clear? Yes, VS Code is IDE. Okay, so let's go to whatever the Selenium is the fine. We'll learn Python about the fast API. So for Kasim, for Selenium scripts, we are going to use the Selenium scripts only for writing the automation testing scripts. Automation testing scripts. That is a usage of the Selenium scripts. Nowadays, everyone, no one, majority people are not using the Selenium scripts. Majority of the people are using the Python scripts for writing the automation testing. Of course, just Python is not sufficient. There is a one library called Lattice PyTest. There are two libraries very popular for writing the automation testing scripts in Python. If you are looking for automation testing, you have to learn Python and PyTest or Lattice. FastAPI is nothing to do for you if you are looking for automation testing. FastAPI is totally different. Where the FastAPI is going to use is only website development. If you are looking for automation testing, go and learn a Python plus PyTest or Lattice. Any library is sufficient. Many PyTest is more popular, but of course, anything you can use it. But FastAPI is no more required for you. So how to use Anaconda, Jupyter? They are the optimized versions of Python. So they are not the optimized versions of the Python, Pujan. So Anaconda and Jupyter is one of the tool where you can able to a user-friendly tool, I can say, where you can able to write the Python. Let me just open the Jupyter notebook. So CMD. I have installed the Jupyter notebook in my laptop. That's why I can say Jupyter notebook is going to provide me. Okay. If you don't install it, you will not get to the. So this is my Jupyter notebooks. So now one minute, let me just, yeah. I'm opening a fresh notebook. So in this fresh notebook, I can write any Python code. So let us say name is equal to Mahesh. Rank is equal to 30. So now I can able to print rank. So this is going to see this is one line by line also you can able to write and execute the code in Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook is also one of the place or maybe one of the tool or software where we can able to write the Python code and execute our Python code. They are not the versions of Python. Okay, they are just environments of Python where you can able to write your code and execute your Python code. Anaconda is also one of the software where almost all Python related softwares like PyCharm, VS Code, Jupyter Notebook. It's a kind of a supermarket for Python where all Python related softwares are available in one big package called Anaconda. Anaconda is a software which contains all the group of like almost like 13 to 14 softwares are there which are present in one software called Anaconda. If you install Anaconda, all softwares will be installed. Pujan, clear? Okay. So what is the best best UI to sync with Python? So Pujan, the best UI means nowadays everyone using the React with Python. Nowadays. That is the best UI I can say because as per the market standards I'm talking about, not as per my personal experience. That is the market standards is saying. Okay. Python is not designed for concurrent and parallel programming. How does the impact the cloud computing performance? It's alternative universe. So here, Abhijit, to be frankly say, how the Python, where Python is going to be useful in cloud computing, I am not expertise in that area, to be frank. So I cannot comment much on this your question, Abhijit. Okay. So, but threading process is there in Python also. There is a Python is supporting the multi-threading process that is also supporting, but that is not a problem. But how the Python is going to, how much it is useful in cloud computing, etc. I'm not expert in that area. Okay, so I cannot comment much on that. Okay. Sir, is AWS hosting is DB necessary for Python? So whether you are hosting in the AWS, so maybe your hosting is, I mean, Pujan, you're talking about the website hosting. I think you're going for a website hosting. You go for AWS or GoDaddy or wherever you go it. So yes, definitely DB. If you want to store some information, DB is required. If you have stored some information, DB is necessary for it. If you don't want to store any information, you go for like VPS or AWS, where you go, the database is not required. Database purpose is just for storing the data. If you don't want to store it, no database is required. Simple. Yes, cost of shift is heavy from Java to Python. That is why people are still running some Java projects. If the cost is very simple, remember Java is going to be vanished in next 1 year. But if I am running the project in the Java for the last 10 years, why I need to spend of lakhs of amount of money just to build my same project on the Python? It doesn't make any sense for me, right? How I care whether my application is Java or Python as long as my usage is the same. Correct? So, okay, sir, in case of some comments was famous in our website, if you want to recommend or every user using our website, do the Python libraries have application here. In case if some comment was famous in our website. Praveen Kumar, I'm not with understanding what is your question exactly. In case of some comment was famous in our website, if you want to recommend to every user using our website, do the Python libraries have application here? I am not clear with your comment question, Praveen Kumar. Sorry for that. Okay,
Uh,
so this is, yeah.
he replied like feedback.
Like feedback. Okay, okay, fine. So feedback means you mean the testimonials kind of stuff? Is that what? So so that is also one of the functionality. So means in your website's testimony is also one of the very common functionality every website is going to ask. Agree? So the testimonial, the component is readily not available in Django, but whatever is it for testimonials, what you are going to support, you are going to take one existing user feedback, right? Who can able to take you a feedback to you? If the person is an existing user for you, then he can able to feedback on for your business. So user registration is also a ready-made component available, and testimony like the forms are readily available, tables are readily available, and ratings are readily available. So these are all components are readily available for you, and so that you can able to use them. May not be a total testimonial component is not readily available for you in the Django, but all the supporting components are readily available. You can use them. Okay. Sir, okay, in this one helpful to me. Your knowledge is amicable. Okay, so okay, thank you, Pujan. Okay, uh, so users, okay, yeah, your users. So users for user registration, there is a ready-made component is a user model. There is a model called user in Django, readily available. So you don't need to worry about creating. So that is always giving a first name, last name, username, email ID, and password. All these are readily available. If you want to register any user in the any website, what is the information user need to fill? Minimum is first name or maybe name, username, password, etc. Email. Those informations are readily available in the user model. Just use it. You don't need to write a code from the scratch for registering the user. No, again, no new table. All the tables are readily available. Django provides them. All of them are ready made to you. It's very easy for us to use. So definitely your development time will be saved a lot with the Python frameworks called Django, etc. Yes, exactly. Models are all built-in frameworks. Built-in frameworks. So you want to extend that built-in models? Yes, there is a Python. Django is providing a facility to extend that models also. For example, give a simple example from Praveen. Your mobile, your smartphone is coming with some 32 GB RAM, but still, smartphone is giving a facility to extend the RAM also if you want it, or not the RAM, sorry, memory, not the RAM memory. 32 GB memory phone is there. There is a slot for the memory card is also available to you. If you want to increase your memory, yes, you can able to increase. But facility extension facility is always there, right? So like here also, Django is giving some default option, default models. If you want to extend it, yes, you can able to extend up to your choice. If you are happy with the given options, yes, you can able to use the given options as it is. I understood why Django when compared to JavaScript. So JavaScript purpose is totally different. JavaScript is just for right some client validations or client code. So, for example, when you say click on some button, let's submit button, what should happen? So, there is some message is going to pop up. All client side things, JavaScript is only sufficient for the client side things. But if you want to sending a request to Django server is going to send the response back to you and preparing the fetching the data from the database and connecting it. These are all the server side actions. If you want client side actions, JavaScript libraries are enough. The purpose of the JavaScript is to deal with only the client side actions. The purpose of the like a Django is on the entire server side. Entire server. The both purposes are different. So and it's okay. So these frameworks is Node.js similar. Okay. In the Node.js is a programming language like Python. But in Node.js, there is a web framework. The frameworks are like say, Express.js, Nest.js, Nest and Express. There are two frameworks are available in the Node.js programming language, which is useful for the web development if you are going to use the Node.js as a backend coding. If you want to use the Python as a backend coding in your web application, you have to go for Django or Flask or FastAPI. So
Uh,
in okay, yeah,
so we Shubham is asking question in chat box.
okay.
Chaitanya, can py Spark be used in for the cloud computing?
Yes, exactly. Uh, not only PS, maybe I can able to make your question more better actually. Uh, okay, let me just go to your question once. So, okay, can PySpark be used in the cloud computing? So, cloud computing means, okay, Shubham, be clear on that. The question is, maybe the concept is actually, whenever you are doing a data engineering tasks, data engineering or data science task, let us say, you generally deal with a lot of millions of trillions of data. If your mission, your local mission, local laptop or desktop or server are going to use to process that data, millions and trillions of data with a RAM of like 16 GB, 32 GB RAMs, then your mission is going to take some 1 week of time, 2 weeks of time to process the data. So it means you run the program today, you come after the 1 week. The program will complete your data because the data is a huge data. There is no problem with your code. The problem is the amount of the data. So what we do is rather than using our machines, local machines like with the limited RAMs like 32 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, etc. What we do is since the data is very huge, we upload the data to the cloud. Let us say data lake, data bricks, etc. There are multiple tools are available, and there the tool is also going to give you a facility to write your Python program there. So the tool is also giving a very data lake or data bricks is going to give you allocate you some huge RAM. You need to buy the RAM there for your operation, like a 128 GB RAM, some CPUs, GPUs also you need to purchase. So much of options are there. Depends upon your data complexity and data processing and amount of data, etc. There you can write a normal Python code, PySpark code also you can able to write, etc. etc. So it's not a cloud computing, I can say. Cloud computing is different. You are going to process your data on the cloud environment, not in your on-premise environment. Both are different. Cloud computing, it's a very general and common word. People use it. So rather than I can say cloud computing, I can say you are going to process your data in on the cloud environment rather than your on-premise environment. Yes, PySpark should be used, can be used. Normal Python also can be used. PySpark also can be used. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. But I'm making your question more clear actually. Yeah, thanks, Abhijit. So thanks a lot. Okay, this is a very good session. Okay, thanks, Basavaraju. Thank you.
I think we are done with the questions. Uh, is there
Okay.
anything, sir, which you want to convey to the audience, mainly to the freshers who want to enter IT industry, because there are lots
Yeah.
of thing like people get to hear no, sometimes like many people say there is no job, there is no future, like these type of like, can you please like help them?
Okay, sure. Yeah, definitely. Sure, Preeti. So Sanjay is one last question. Can we use Node.js as a Node.js cannot be used as a front end, guys. Remember, Node.js is not a front end, it's a back end, pure back end, not a front end. Okay, fine. So thanks, Praveen. So yeah, next is okay. My sincere advice to all of you is for the maybe the freshers or maybe the job seekers or maybe job searchers are struggling to get the job, whoever is the category. Question is the point is only one. So choose first walk, just don't go blindly. Okay, someone is my friend is learning this, my friend is taking this training, etc. etc. Just think about yourself. Okay, where you are you are going to say data site. Are you going to afraid of the programming? Then don't go for the programming there. Whatever is feels you feel difficult for you, don't touch it. So just go to the your maybe convenient or suitable options. For example, I'm a guy who are I'm very guy who is having very fear about the programming. Let us say, then I will never go to choose the programming because it's a very fear about me for fear for me. Why I need to struggle a lot in my career? I don't struggle. I don't want to struggle. I'll go to the non-programming languages jobs like Power BI tools, cloud computers, like this cloud technologies, DevOps. There are so many options, jobs are there which are paying a good salaries, which are not required the programming languages. Don't think that every IT job needs some programming. It's a very basic fundamental flaw. Doesn't need. It's all depends. If you're interested in the programming language, yes, you are always welcome to any programming language. But when you're decided to come to programming language, my suggestion is go for the Python, because I already shown in the today's session. Go and check in the Google what's the top most programming language in 2025. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get the Python. Why, if the Python is most popular, why you're going for the non-popular programming languages? Anyway, you decided to come to programming language as per your option or choice, then go for the best option, no? Why you're going for the least option or maybe middle option? Clear? Anyway, learning Java is also same effort you need to keep. Learning Python also same effort you need to keep. If you are getting like within the 7 lakhs, you are getting the BMW, then why you are going for the Maruti car, right? So now that is one suggestion. And second suggestion is, so many people ask when we are going to get the job. I am learned a lot. I am searching for the jobs. I am not getting the jobs. So nowadays, see, the concept is very simple. This IT industry is going to be not always at the same pace. Sometimes there is a up and downs will be there. Right now, little bit down is there for the last 1 year. I agree. So if getting the job in this difficult times, a small, less, it's a small recession, I can say, not a big recession. Big recession, we're also going to leave the companies, but it's a very small recession. Companies are not preferring to recruit the freshers or new jobs nowadays. So don't be panic or don't lose your hope. What I can say is, for example, you learn Java or Java full stack or something later says. Since you are having a lot of time now, because once you join the job, I am sure you won't be having any time, guys. Your entire time is dedicated to the company only. Company says that is what you are paying for. You need to spend a time in the company. So this is the best time that you want to learn any new technologies. New technologies is whatever you already learned related to that. For example, Java full stack. What is the other things? DevOps. Maybe a related thing. Because when you are hosting things, these are all related things for the Java full stack. Going for the data science, they go for the generative AI, advanced more technology, agentic AI, newly, reinforcement learning. So this go for the new things, whatever you not learned so far, and be prepared for it. Once the recession is gone and market is booming, then you will be the first person who is going to be recruiting the companies. But you are the hot cake because you already learned so much of technologies. You have learned already good knowledge is there. Companies are preferring to recruit you. So I'll just tell you one history, like Mahabharata. What Mahabharata says in Mahabharata, when Pandavas went to forest for the 12 years, so they are not sitting idle. What they did it? So Arjuna is just pray for Shiva just to get the Pashupatastra. Agree? And we all know how much is beneficial for Arjuna to win the war, Kurukshetra war, by using the Pashupatastra. Don't sit idle. Though I know you may be not be having the job, but don't sit idle. Don't waste your time. Use your time effectively to learn, improve your skills. If you improve your skills, definitely you will get the job very faster or sooner. This is what our Mahabharata says. I am not saying this. Okay, guys, understand? So use your ideal time and you can grow up yourself. Once you join the job, this learning is going to stop. You are also going to work on the job only. There is no extra learning you're going to do. This is the only time where you can able to learn. Clear? Okay. So don't be panic. Don't lose your hope. Keep trying. And because now last 1 year, there is a small down is there in the IT industry. I agree that. So it doesn't mean that you don't get the job forever. No, definitely everyone will get the job for sure. Just be hope for it and try. Just not getting the hope is not a me. Just there is no doesn't make any change. You have to keep learning the new things. Get ready for the booming time. Okay, this is only my suggestions. So just go. Choose your course as per your interest. Don't go to the course as my friend is going, my brother is going, my sister is going, etc., etc. No, choose your course, whatever you like it. Depends upon your interest levels or depends upon your fear levels, etc. Clear? Yeah, that's all from my side, Preeti. Okay. So yeah, anything else I need to cover?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You have answered every question. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time. People are
Thanks,
saying
Preeti.
thank you. They are writing thank you.
Yeah,
We
thanks.
are
Thanks a lot.
thankful. We are really thankful, sir, for your time and you shared your knowledge, which is the most important thing. Okay, and thank you to everyone who have joined us today. Thank you for being a part of this learning experience. And if you still have any question, please feel free to reach out to us or directly connect with the sir. His LinkedIn ID. You can search him on LinkedIn. We have also tagged him in our post. You can find him, and so you can share your details also with the people.
So, okay, okay. Let me just share those details to you guys so that you can able to refer or sorry, 1 minute.
Yeah, and
So
I
these
have
are
shared.
my details. You can in social media you can able to subscribe to my channels. My all the channels is the same. Python.trainer.helper.
Yeah, I have
Go for
shared a YouTube channel link also. Do subscribe it, and happy weekend to everyone. Enjoy weekend. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the time.
yeah. Thanks a lot, Preeti. Yeah, thank you
Bye
very much. Yeah.
bye. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye, sir.
Bye, 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 everyone. Yeah.